it's short-term pain for long-term gain this season. That is my sort of feeling, and I think a lot of people's feelings. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's a new feeling for a lot of Chelsea fans this season about waiting for something to happen and looking longer term, because for years Chelsea have gone into these games either battling for the title or we want to be taking on City and beating them. But I think with the way we're trying to play football, the things that Frank is trying to utilise, the fact that we went there last season and were absolutely demolished, but this season it could have gone our way. Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for my rational perspective on Manchester City 2, Chelsea 1 in the Premier League. The winning run is over, the unbeaten run as well is over, and it was frustrating last night. It really was. So near but so far for Chelsea. Last night's game reminded me so much of the Liverpool game and the defeat a few months ago, and sort of those small details in the game that went against us and we got punished for them because of the quality of Manchester City. But I think the way we stuck at the game, stayed in it, and especially that opening 25 minutes, I think the bravery, the composure, the way we played, the way we went at City, the way we exploited them, I think are really encouraging signs. I really do. And I think it just shows where this team is heading. The fact that we aren't going to City, putting 10 men behind the ball and getting lucky. We actually went out there, went toe-to-toe for City, and in the end, 2-1, probably should have been 3-1 with Sterling's VAR goal that got disallowed. It's short-term pain for long-term gain this season. That is my sort of feeling, and I think a lot of people's feelings, And also I look at this through the lens of the previous 2 visits to Manchester City that have been dark days within our last 2 seasons. They really have. You look under Conte, where we went up there, didn't play a striker, didn't even attempt to score a goal that day. Really disheartening performance. One of the worst performances I've seen from Chelsea. And then equally, when we lost 6-0 there last year, we got obliterated. That didn't happen this year. And as Lampard alluded to in his post-match interview, the team went toe-to-toe with City, but the thing is, City are miles ahead of us in terms of how long they've been together, the quality within their squad, that you get punished, and that's the tough bit to take. But as I say, there are encouraging things. Going into my team selector, I think I was one wrong, which was Azpilicueta coming in for Reece James. Mount didn't start. That midfield trio, which I spoke so much about, did start. I think what was interesting was Dave. It's no surprise when he comes in and plays a game like this because of his experience, and I think it did tell. He didn't get exposed on the night at all, which I know some people's worries compared to last year. That experience he has is so key. I think what will be interesting to me is, especially when we play Tottenham before Christmas and like the next major away game, will Frank play Reece James at right back and play Dave at left back? That'll be an interesting thing to see. So that may be something you see going forward. But that opening was so encouraging from Chelsea. They really went at City. Yes, we got lucky with De Bruyne missing early on, but I think the bravery, the composure, the confidence to pass and move, it was quite clear what Chelsea were trying to do, and they got at City trying to test their fragility, trying to test that confidence level after the defeat to Liverpool. And with Liverpool winning early on in the day, the pressure was on City. And Chelsea, rather than just like the passing combinations, playing out from the back, being confident, all the things we want to see from this Chelsea side, the energy, the pace, it was also just the aggression I really liked as well. There was very much a cutthroat feel to Chelsea in that opening period of the game that really just went at City again and again and again, trying to expose that back too, which we did on several occasions. Willian got unlucky after some brilliant work from Tammy, who I think generally his hold-up play was very good. He was unfortunate he didn't really get a chance in the game, to be honest, but he did some good work, I think, all round with his build-up play and link-up play as well, and that turn of pace. And the goal itself, Kante's goal, which was fully deserved. Kovacic trying to match Jorginho for pass of the season. What a ball that was into the path of Kante, proving once again why he is such a useful asset going forward. He is so much more than a holding midfielder. Once again, proving it last night at the Etihad with that goal. 1-0, it was what the team deserved. And we kept playing well. We kept moving the ball around. We were stopping City from getting back into the game. They looked a little bit passive. We looked to be on the front foot. But with a team like City, who are years ahead of us and have players like Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, Sergio Aguero, even with injuries to their team, even with the doubts that people may have, this is an exceptional side that Pep Guardiola has built and a champion side that have won the Premier League. There is a reason why they have won so much. And even on a night like last night where they weren't at their best, they can just switch it on. And it was Chelsea's sloppy passing and transitions, which we saw, we got exploited a lot in the opening weeks of the season, but that seemed to have faded in recent weeks. But we did get exposed a lot by Manchester City, and they're probably the best team other than Liverpool to do that to you. And just the way they switched it on. We're a little bit unlucky that the equaliser is a deflection, but at the same time, Jorginho giving that ball away, and we're in a dangerous situation at that point. And De Bruyne with the skill and the composure he has, and he's so dangerous. And it's 1-1. And at that point, I feel like we could have reasserted ourselves. I think that will be the frustration for Lampard, is that it just seemed like it was a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy after a while. Yes, Manchester City are a brilliant side. Once they get going, it's very hard to stop them. But I thought we just kept on getting done. And when Riyad Mahrez scores, I don't think Emerson does his best work there. I really don't, allowing him to cut inside like that. It's a brilliant finish. And it felt like we were hanging on for half time. And it felt like that for a lot of the second half, I have to be honest. I thought we were hanging on in the game, hoping to get to the last 20 so then we could make a few changes, try and get back into the game. I was quite impressed actually in the second half once we fell behind, how thanks to a good save from Kepa, and I just have to, before I forget, Kepa is a very, very lucky guy. That pass out from the back just before the break, you don't see Aguero pass up many chances like that, do you? We got super lucky there. But I think he redeemed himself a bit by the save he made in the second half for Mahrez to keep us in the game. Frank made a change, taking off Emerson for Reece James. I think Reece James once again asserted himself well, and I think done himself no harm last night against Manchester City. Pretty much kept his side quiet. Which I think will be good for him, even though it is a defeat. And Mason Mount came on for Jorginho, who picked up a booking. And once again, it was always that fear of transition that I think stopped Chelsea. All the things that were happening in that first 25 minutes were fixed by City. Those holes weren't appearing as much. And I think because of the fact Chelsea didn't have a lot of the ball in that second half, the energy that was taken out to be able to spring so effectively on the counter-attack, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's a new feeling for a lot of Chelsea fans this season about waiting for something to happen and looking longer term. Because for years, Chelsea have gone into these games either battling for the title or we want to be taking on City and beating them. But I think with the way we're trying to play football, the things that Frank is trying to utilise, the fact that we went there last season and were absolutely demolished, but this season it could have gone our way. Ederson made a really good save from Kante in the second half as well. Willian had a volley of his tipped over. So on another day, that could have changed. And the fact that we had as many attempts as we did, I think is a positive thing. And I think Frank will be pleased with the fact his team did show that confidence. It does have shades of maybe the Manchester United first 25 minutes and the games against Liverpool where we just aren't as clinical. But this season, as I said in my team selector, was never about the title race. I never believed we were in the title race, and I think probably last night proved it once again how good Manchester City are. But where Chelsea can match them with a few additions, with this team playing together more, with the younger players getting more minutes under their belts and getting experience and knowledge that when we go back to the Etihad next year, there can be that improvement and we can fix up and not have that lapse in concentration and get punished and maybe take something from the game. So those are my thoughts. We move on quickly now to Valencia, which is a crucial game within the Champions League group stage. If we win that, we put ourselves in such a strong position to go to that last game and qualify. In terms of the league, I always thought this was a bit of a free hit in the sense that we had that great winning run before the international break to put us in a position where losing at City isn't at the end of the world. When you actually look at that table at the end of the day, Arsenal dropping points once again. And the teams below us, we've had a nice gap and there's a nice cushion there, to be honest. And it's about getting back on the horse and responding well, which this team has done this season. You look how we responded and how we were able to put teams away that we're supposed to. You think about West Ham next week. Chelsea needs to get back on that horse because we need to collect a lot of points over the important Christmas period. But those are my thoughts on the game. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.